So BP grind then?
Yeah, so this is BP after Bob Parsons himself. This is the actual grind that Bob used himself. This is the one that's got the most bounce on it. So this is really for myself. I think this is more what you'd play out of a bunker. So we do this in 56 and 58 and 60 degrees.
Yeah.
Full face grooves, as we've traditionally had. So you can open the club face and really slide this under. Bit more of a traditional look on the back now, so we've done away with the weight on the back. We've put that actually inside the head, but we do still keep the high toe.
Yeah.
So keep the high toe look, which obviously allows us to get more grooves on there and allows you to cut under the ball.
I'm looking forward to trying this one in a bunker, because I think some people sometimes when they're buying the wedges, they sort of go for one grind all the way through.
Yeah.
And I think if you're someone who struggles out of bunkers, this one's fantastic, because from what I've read in the technology, it helps you like get the leading edge into the bunker, but then bounce at the bottom to pop it out.
I think what you'll find that when you go into the bunker, I think what you'll find is how easily it goes through the sand.
Yeah.
You'll be able to see the splash that it's making in the sand, and it gets the ball out so easy. I'm a firm believer in that what you should do is you shouldn't just go and buy 3 wedges that are all the same. So not 54, 50, 50, 54, 58, all with the same grind, because they're all for different things.
Yeah.
My 50 is a full shot. My 54 is chipping, my 58 is out of the bunker. They should have 3 different grinds on them.
Yeah.
Or at least the 50 and the 54 should have the same. Then the 58 or 60 should really have the most sort of bounce on it that you can to help you in a bunker.
I think my top tip would be as well, if you're buying wedges this year, have a look at your current wedges on your toe area. Have you got many marks? Because my old school, traditional face wedges, the toe area is roughed up. And I'd be potentially looking to get a full face.
I think if your viewers use it for just out of bunkers, they'll see that the ball marks are all down this end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not getting any grooves down that end of the club where these have, which is great.
So you might as well get your money's worth, guys.
Okay. So what we've moved on to now is we've moved on to the middle of the 3 grinds. So this is the S grind. This is 10 degrees. Okay. This is probably the most versatile of the 3 grinds that we do. It allows you to play out a lush grass, also off a little bit of a tighter lie. I think as we spoke about before, we were trying to get a sort of an indication of where you'd use the higher sort of grind, the BP, as we talked about before. I think the BP grind is really on bunkers, and it really is what you do as a golfer. Would you use that 50 or 60 degrees?
Yeah.
If it's solely out of bunkers, I'd go for the BP grind. The most grind, as you saw in your bunker shots before, really easy to get through the sand. If you're going to use it chipping round the greens, I personally don't use my 58 at all round the green. I just use it out of a bunker, and if I have to really lob it over something, that's why I go for the BP. This S I think is going to be really popular because it's the most versatile, little bit less bounce, so you can chip with it off a nicer tight lie. And then what we've done this year, we've gone for the more traditional face. So we've come away.
I love that. I don't know if I'm just traditional, Stuart, and getting comments, guys, what do you think? Do you prefer the full face or the sort of traditional face? But I feel a bit more at home, probably especially in a 54 and a 50.
Yeah.
Potentially might look for full facing sort of lob wedge, but
I think as we spoke about before, when you're in a bunker and you're cutting across a golf ball to try and get it up and to stop it really quickly to a flag that's really close to you, I think the full face will help you, especially this end.
Yeah.
Because if you do cut across it, you might run out of grooves.
Yeah.
If you're just chipping around the green like we've just been doing then, I think the more traditional face, it's nice to have the option.
Yeah.
So that's what we've done this year. We've given the golfer the option. As again with all PXG, we've got the versatility to weight. So during a wedge fitting, we can take the weight up or down and make that suit just yourself.
Yeah.
Okay,
right. So is this going to be to that far away
whichever one you want to go to.
I'll try and land it sort of past halfway.
And what would you kind of say? Because obviously, like myself, you'll speak to a lot of golfers and kind of understand the tendencies too. Would you encourage, like I would?
I can flop it a bit further than that, I think. Yeah, it checked up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
More bounce at the BP grind.
Yep.
Nice. What we've got on the new wedges is we had the option to go to the actual groove itself.
Yeah.
Was to go to a narrow groove or a wide groove. So we did a lot of testing as PXG do. We test everything to the nth degree. We did a lot of testing, and in dry conditions, there's no difference between a narrow groove and a wide groove. The actual width of the groove itself, there's no difference. But then when you get quite a grassy lie or wet conditions, the narrow groove, the performance drops.
Right.
Whereas the performance stays the same with the wider groove. So that's why we've gone for a wider groove. But when that has still allowed us to put one more extra groove on the face as well from last year. So we've actually got an extra groove on the face this year.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we've got 16 grooves rather than 15.
They do look a little bit more like boxy and, and wider
So we've gone
spread.
for the wider groove.
Yeah.
Again, to the USGA standard, we've gone right up to the edge of the standard that we can.
I've got to admit, on this sort of lie, I do like how that S grind sits.
Yeah.
It's not like digging into turf.
No,
It just gives you a feeling that it's low enough without sort of that blade digging in, and sits nice and square. So this is the C grind.
Yeah, brand new for this year. So Sugar Daddy 3, C grind, 7 degrees of bounce. Really interesting to get your take on this. We had a little bit of a chat before. You're a little bit of a digger, as you said.
I'm a bit of a digger. We've got tight lines. This is my like Achilles heel.
Yeah, I'm hoping that you're going to find that because this sits so flush to this turf here at Dundonald, that it stops you from digging.
Right.
Okay. I think if we put the BP grind in your hand on here, with all the bounce, the leading edge is sat up in the air. What you'll find is even with 58 degrees aloft here, when you put this down, it's going to be really flat on the floor. This is a real specific grind. I mean, you probably wouldn't buy it at 58. 58 degrees like this is with 7 degrees, because you wouldn't play this out of a bunker. I think if you went in the bunker, you'd notice a massive difference between that BP grind with all the bounce on it before. This is for these real tight lies.
Like nipping it.
Yeah. Again, we've gone for the classic look. So let's have a go with this guy. Let's see.
This will be interesting because this is one I would have never tried. So I'm looking forward to this.
Again, we've never done anything with this little bounce on it. There's been a clamour for it. There's been people wanting us to try it. It's something we've never done. That's why we've made this, and it gives people an option. I think what you're going to find is you're going to find players probably have this in a 50. Maybe even a 54. You probably wouldn't go 58 with so little bounce on it because it's out of a bunker, really. But we wanted you to try it today because we want you to try. You test your chipping guy on this nice tight turf. Okay. What we just noticed with watching Andy do was when Andy hit sort of 5 shots and the last 3, he sort of thinned a little bit. But because the grind's so low, it sort of got away with them. With a BP grind, it would have, the leading edge would have been in the air. He'd have thinned them. He'd have thinned them over the back of the net. You will find that.
You've got to probably trust hitting the ground here, haven't you? Because it's got no bounce. Maybe Andy's trying not to sort of get too much into the ground and hit it heavy, but I think that's probably what you've got to be trusting.
I think that's a beautiful set of pictures there. You've got, what, 25, 30 yards there, and you've got 3 gimme.
So I trusted it in down into that, and it's not dug at all.
You see, because there's no bounce, it's not bounced off the turf there.
It's just scorched.
So I think with the BP grind or the S grind, that sort of bounces off that hard turf. This is designed to sit flush on hard turf and to come off the hard turf.
Which I feel as though would be quite hard to get that close with more.
That's a nice shot, isn't it? I mean, this is a tough shot, isn't it? To that flag there, that's a really. You'd probably 9 times out of 10. You'd probably, a golfer of your standard would probably not play that shot because you'd be confident enough that you're good enough at chipping to play a little chip and run there. But if you imagine you've got to go over collar and rough there, and you've got no other option but to play this shot.
I'm surprised at this because I was thinking that it was going to make me dig into the grass, and it's not.
No,
it's not at all. It's giving me that confidence to actually hit down. And
because if you think about it this way, because if you think about bounce is sort of is a more, what's the best word I'm looking for? A bit more like a U shape. So the U shape is sat on the floor with the heel in the air. And that's designed really to bounce through sand and through long grass. It's not designed on turf. So turf, there's no grind. It's sort of flat. So it sort of bounces off the flat surface.
When I first